Hey, beautiful people! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's the first time here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate the love, the support, and the consistency, the likes, the comments, the shares. Oh my goodness, it's overwhelming. Today I'm gonna be doing something different. So I'm not gonna be talking about faith or anything to do with the Bible. I'm not preaching today. I'm just giving advice in terms of choosing a rest for you, okay? A rest for you. Um, I think for those of you who are close to me, you know that I was in catering last year, a female's race to be exact. No males were allowed in my race. And this year I was in a mixed race and it was a self-catering, so I cook for myself here. And I chose a female's race because I just wanted to put my parents at ease. I don't want them to think that I'm out for university for any other reason than schoolwork. But I also just realized this year as well, Kuti, man, if you wanna do something naughty, there's nothing that's gonna stop you. Even if you went to a female's race, it doesn't guarantee that your child is not gonna be up to mischief because also it's like males were not allowed at our race, but we were allowed at males' race. Do you get me? So it's like doesn't stop you from anything if you have put your mind at a certain place. But I get to just put my poor parents at ease. I mean, I chose a female's race, you know. But I also feel like it was also for me because I just wanted to feel safe in that environment. It's a new environment altogether. I don't know how vetsmen are or how vetsmen think. So I'm like, you know what, let me just be at an environment where males won't be allowed into my space and I just go to a space where males are there, you know, than to feel like there are men intruding or invading my space. Then, in terms of catering, I just wanted to just try out catering because I didn't know how hectic schoolwork is gonna be this year last year I mean so I had to make sure see I don't want food to be my worries. I don't want to be stressing about schoolwork and cooking or stressing about schoolwork and food at the same time, you know. So that's why I chose to be in a catering where they cook for me and the only thing that's worrying me is schoolwork. Do you get it? Then yeah, man, I got a taste of my own choices. Last year, I realized that shame, none of those things were for me. So I remember when I came to university, my parents were not allowed in my room. So it was so sad, Shane, because my mom couldn't see my room. She did not know where I slept. She just hypothetically imagined a room in her head that this building, one of these buildings, my daughter sleeps there. And they couldn't even anoint my room or pray for it or dedicate it to the Lord. It was just, they just left me at the door, which was low key sad. You know, you want to be in your daughter's room, see where she stays. Also, like if you see a need, for instance, you're able to buy her that specific thing, but you can't buy her that specific thing if you don't even know how her room looks like, you know. But yeah, that was the first blow, I think. Another thing is that like there was just a lot of hierarchy, I think, at race because you find I'm showering and someone has the guts and the audacity to come and tell me to hurry up showering. And at that time, because also for me, showering is like it's like a therapy session. I'll have my music there and I'll be showering, you know. But there was just a lot of politics around that, you know. You'd find someone coming to my room, I mean, coming to the shower to tell me to hurry up, or someone telling me that I'm disturbing them while studying, which is understandable in case the music is so loud. But yeah, it just felt a lot shame. And also, like if I was in my room, sometimes Metron would come once in a while to check up on us. You know, it almost felt like we had a mother at risk. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Honestly, I just love my space. To be honest, I don't like people coming in and out of my room as they wish. And for me, also like where I'm at right now, if someone wants to come to see me, they have to think twice. And also because it's very far away, they also have to call me before coming so that I prepare myself, not just someone opens NJ out of the blue. So it almost felt like a boarding school. I did not like that. I remember one time I was studying with my one friend and we were in bed because it was cold, and Metron came. She's throwing a tantrum. She's like, why in each other's rooms? Like, don't you know that you're not allowed in another person's room? There's COVID and everything. Do you think we're fools? Do you think we're stupid to not allow you guys to share a room? There are no roommates this year because of that. But when you think you're smart, hey, blah 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 blah. Give me your student card. Hi, when she says give me your student card and she writes down my student number, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in it for it. Eh? Hi, Kim. I go there to the office. They give me a warning. They even threaten to take me out of arrest. I'm like, you know what? I can't deal with this. I understand. Institution is supposed to have rules and regulations in place to have order, but this was just too much for me. I can't have a neighbor and the whole year she has never visited my room or chilled in my room. On top of that, name. On top of that, varsity is very depressing if no one has ever told you, okay? Schoolwork and academics can be very, very depressing. And if I'm always by myself in my room and I can't just go to my friend's room and chill there, I mean, like, you're just gonna be depressed because you're just isolated. The environment was very toxic for me, I'm sorry to say, but I'm like, I can't deal with this, you know? So I'm like, females race is just not for me. Also, just the fact that I couldn't even have visitors. And it doesn't even have to be males, guys, because I remember even my aunt, when she comes see me, she can't come to my room. Also, like, I remember I have like elder sisters from high school that are here. So I remember my other sister from high school. She was in grade 12 when I was in grade 10. She's like, can I come chill at your room? She was not allowed in my room, even if she was a lady. So it was just too many admin for me. I'm like, I can't deal with this. I understand that it was because of COVID and now people are allowed, but I just don't like it, you know, because even after that experience, when I saw her, I'm like, I'm trying to greet her, but it almost felt like we had beef, and I couldn't understand. I don't want such toxicity around me. So I'm like, it's not for me. I'm sorry, it's not for me. And the rules were not stipulated clearly that no one is allowed in your room. So for me, it was very confusing. In contrast, when I came to mixed race, nobody really cares about you as long as when you sign in, the person that you're signing in, they have to be out before 12. They don't come to your room as frequently. The only time they come to your room is either it's service or they're trying to spray the insecticide so that you don't find a rat in your room or something like that. And if you have stipulated to your cleaner that you don't want a cleaner in your room, literally it's your space. You feel like it's your space. You don't feel like there's someone invading your space or whatever. I really love my space, eh? Sorry to say, but yeah. So I really love this place, and it's so chilled, you know. And I can shower as long as I want, and nobody will tell me to stop showering or whatever the case might be. And it's just a good environment, and everybody minds their own business because most people are doing post grad, so nobody really cares about you, you know. And if my friends wants to visit me, if my aunt wants to visit me, or whatever the case might be, they can come and visit me. They can come and see me. So I like that about this place. Yeah, but apart from that, I guess that's why I decided to stay here. And even next year, when I applied for it, I'm like definitely going to mixed race. I don't know. It's just the thing with me, and also I have a lot of male friends. So when my male friends wants to come study or see me, then they'll come to my room. There'll be no issue. And I'm not saying I'm promoting much because honestly, guys, I think there's just a lot of bad connotations around being at a mixed race. If I wanted to do something stupid, I would have done it already. Do you understand what I mean? There's so many opportunities at university to do that, but it's because you've purposed in your heart that you're gonna do something. So, and the change of environment doesn't really say much. I also decide who I want in my space, even if it's a mixed race. Do you understand? So, if there's a guy who's creepy or whatever the case might be, I can report him. So, being at a mixed race doesn't really say much. I feel like also the experience in first year made me a little bit firm so that when someone is trying their stupid naughty things on me, I don't get traumatized and petrified, but I rather speak up against it and say, hey, when I don't try nonsense here, you get it. So those are some of the things in terms of choosing a male's race. I mean, choosing a female's race versus a mixed race. With male's race, it doesn't really apply because even if you went to a male's race, guys, females will go visit males, so it just feels like a mixed race altogether. I mean, I'm not really talking from experience, but I mean, like, females are allowed in males races, so I'm just talking it with regards to if you're a female and you are choosing between mixed race and a female's race. Okay, now coming to catering. The only reason, as I said, why I chose catering was because I did not know how hectic schoolwork was going to be. So I wanted someone to cook for me so that, cooking should be the least of my worries because I don't know how hectic things are. People say the gap between varsity and high school is huge. So I don't want to come to a place where I compromise myself and I'm now eating noodles every day because I don't have time to cook to get it. And I will then decide after the first year, Guti, should I go to self catering? Also, just for advice sake, Nj, if you're in high school or matric, I would advise you to go to catering for yourself, experience it, then decide later on whether it's something for you. Because I've had friends who chose self catering this year and went back to catering because of time. It's also just subjective on a person. Uri, if you have good time management skills and you're able to cook for yourself and being strategic about it as well. So for me, I came to self catering this year because last year was just horrible. The food was always either not satisfying, boring, or undercooked. It was just a lot. I remember even getting sick once in a while after eating the dining hall food. I remember getting a pie, the dough was wet underneath, it was not cooked. I remember eating meat, and then when I do this, I see blood. It was just a lot. Do you understand? For me, I didn't find it appetizing at all. The rice tasted like stones. I'm like, I can't deal with this. So let me go to self catering. And when I came to self catering this year, I had to be very strategic because I don't want to hate it. I also don't want to hate my decision. I wanted it to work. I wanted my decision to work. That's for starters, okay? So it meant being strategic about it. So number one, I won't cook if I'm stressed or I'm in trouble academically. Sometimes I can cook to de-stress, but I'm saying when I'm stressed, I mean like there's a lot of work, there's a lot of submissions because when I'm cooking, I'm feeling guilty. I'm like, I should be studying. So I make sure that I study, and then in my break or in my free time, which is free time, you make it yourself because you're never going to have free time, you then cook. After the day's work, when I've done so many lectures, I can cook freely, enjoy myself. Also, another thing is that I can't cook every day. That's unrealistic. So if you're thinking about going to self catering, you can't cook every day. So you need to cook like twice a week or so, and then have containers where you can put that food. So because I'm gonna eat the same food for 2 to 3 days, I have to make sure that the food is very good. Do you understand? So I have to cook very nice food to make sure that I'm able to eat it the following day or look forward to eating it the following day. My favorite meal is lasagna because no matter how many days you eat lasagna, I can even eat lasagna the whole week, but it still tastes very nice. I love the cheesiness of it and everything like that. I also love grilled chicken. I usually eat it for like 3 days or so, but after that, I feel bored about it. So I have to make sure that I eat it within that space of time. So you have to make sure that the food that you make is very nice, so that you look forward to eating it, even if it's for a huge space of time. Um, so that means you have to get a lot of containers. I took a lot of containers from home, and yeah, to make sure that I store my food in the fridge. Another thing, right? Another thing is that I have a lot of cutlery. You don't want to be washing your dishes every 5 minutes after eating. I mean, like for me as well, even when school becomes hectic, I have enough dishes to last me 3 days. I'm not saying that I'll go 3 days without washing my dishes because you want a room that smells good. And the thing is, for me, I'm sharing with other people. So I can't leave my dishes downstairs, right? So they're gonna be in my room. And staring at your dirty dishes is just depressing. I don't know if it's just me. So it forces me to wash my dishes. I try to wash my dishes once a day, and then if school is just that hectic or things are just that hectic, I'll wash it after 2 days. But I have enough dishes to sustain me. You do understand what I mean? So having a lot of cutlery helps. Another thing is having very quick meal food. So you can buy those pies that you can just put in the oven. What are they called again? Sausage rolls, where you can just put in the oven if you are really tired. You can buy lettuce as a salad or whatever the case might be, and you can also have cereal. I also used to have rice cakes in times where I don't have appetite or I'm tired. bread, eggs, bacon. These are some of the things that don't take a while to cook. Viennas or Russians from Woolworths, very nice, very very nice. And also in the morning, because I'm tired, is either I'm in a hurry for my dissections or my labs, I will quickly make what do you call it, jungle oats or wheat bix, whatever the case might be, cereal. And the jungle oats that I bought there, the instant oats, which I just put hot water, I put the oats and then I microwave it for like a minute, and then I put sugar, I eat. So I like instant things that are fast but are very very delicious. You can also put fruits on top that month when things are going well financially. So that's technically it, being strategic about it. And another thing is, people don't tell you that self-catering is expensive, eh? It's very expensive, shame. So you have to make sure that your budget allows you, okay? It's not just about out of the blue you're making that decision vaguely. I remember for my first month I spent 2.5k on food. It's my first time, I don't have anything, so it makes sense that I would spend that much amount of money. My dad bought me my cutlery. It was a lot of money. I don't want to mention amounts. And also, like, I remember my sister convincing my dad to buy me a toaster. She's like, Benja needs a toaster at varsity. Luckily enough, I have such amazing family. My aunt bought me a microwave last year. So, in as much as it's a self-catering and there's a microwave downstairs, it's so convenient to have a microwave in your room. You don't have to go downstairs to not warm your food. And my sister Aru, my best friend, bought me a kettle last year, so that helps me. I can make myself tea in my room. So yeah, being at a self catering is quite expensive, because I remember last year in catering there was a boiler where you can go and just take hot water from the boiler. It doesn't work sometimes, and sometimes things are untidy. So I'm telling you, everything was just convenient in my side, okay? So there, it is expensive. You don't take that away, but I think after buying the major stuff, also with spices, you don't buy spices every day. If you buy spices, those spices can last you for 5 months. It depends on how much or how many times you cook. But I even remember this one spice. It's garlic spice by Impermanence. It lasted me like the whole year. It only finished like a few weeks ago. So with such things, with spices, they last you a while. And then you have um buying things in bulk, which helps in terms of rice and stuff like that. Buying things on sale, which is really really helpful. So yeah, man, like, but then it is expensive still. And I think after spending so much money on groceries one month, the likelihood is that next month I will only spend like 800 or so on groceries, which is very convenient. Also buying toiletries in bulk. If I buy toiletries this month worth 1 point something k, the following month I'll just be adding one thing, or maybe not even adding anything at all. Also for me, it's because I'm like Afro, I need to like buy stuff for my hair care and stuff like that. It does cost a lot. For my face, I just buy a face wash. The face wash is all I need, and Nivea. My skin is okay. And for spots or dark marks, I put on calamine on my face, which helps in terms of reducing marks and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. I'm very strategic. I was very strategic in the sense that self catering worked for me. Don't cook every day. Cook for 2 to 3 days, not more than 2 to 3 days, because after the third day you're gonna get bored of the food or something like that. I don't know. And also have containers to put your food. Cook when you are free. Don't now cook when you are stressed out about schoolwork, when you're supposed to be studying. Sometimes when schoolwork becomes hectic, guys, I eat at medical school. Do you understand? I eat in medical school. Or that day I order pizza from Mr. D, or whatever the case might be. But I don't cook when I'm stressed. Do you understand? I don't cook when situations don't allow me to cook, because now when I'm cooking, I'm adding negative connotations towards cooking, and the next time I cook, I'm starting to hate cooking, while cooking was the most amazing thing that happened to me. I feel like it's the same thing that happened with gymming. I used to jog every single time when I'm stressed, so whenever I went to the hockey field, I just feel negative emotions that are attached to gymming. Do you understand? So I try to be a little bit different this year, whereby I actually gymmed when I was not going through a lot. I was just gymming for the sake of gymming. So I started enjoying gymming because gymming was not associated with negative connotations. Do you get me? So I don't cook when I'm stressed or whatever the case might be. I cook enough food and I cook nice food. I search recipes on the internet, and even if things don't work out, guys, I learn something from it. I've never been this experimental in my life because I'm the only one eating this food. So, my parents are not gonna complain or whatever the case might be. My mom and my dad were health freaks. My dad is still very health conscious, so I couldn't just play around with food. Do you understand? But here at varsity, it gives me the liberty to do so. I'm able to experiment with food and stuff like that, which is really nice. And I find it very therapeutic. Whenever I go into the kitchen, I just release, guys. I just enjoy myself and everything. It keeps me sane. If you're always studying all the time, guys, you're just gonna be depressed. Don't do that to yourself. But yeah, that's basically it. Choose for yourself which race you want, females or mixed race, and catering and self-catering. For me particularly, I've been enjoying it. And also one thing to take note of, don't just watch my video and be like, okay, self-catering is the way. If you hate cooking, you're just gonna be so frustrated because like, what are you doing in self-catering if you hate cooking? If you love cooking, then it's the thing for you. Because also for me, I've been cooking since grade what? Grade one. So I am very picky in terms of my food eating habits. So obviously because I'm picky, I wasn't enjoying catering because also like in as much as catering they would cook whatever, it's the same meal over and over again. I know that if they're cooking beef, the beef tastes like this. There was no changing of recipes or whatever the case might be. Sometimes I want my chicken grilled, sometimes I want my chicken fried, sometimes I want my chicken in a stew, sometimes I want my chicken in pasta, fillet, or whatever the case might be. Sometimes I want beef fried, sometimes I want beef in the stew, sometimes I want lasagna with cheese and stuff like that. Sometimes I want chicken a la king, sometimes I want pancakes, sometimes I want a lot of things. Do you get what I mean though? So being at a self-catering helps me to experience those things and have those things and the liberty to do so. But yeah, I also feel like in terms of the expenses, in terms of like self-catering being expensive, is because I'm very picky. So I'll buy a lot of ingredients, things that are very, very unnecessary. You can buy cheaper groceries, of course, but because of me and my experimental self, I'll end up spending more on groceries. Hence why choose wisely, okay? And in as much as I'm spending I'm really happy where I am. And I thought I should share, guys, for those of you who are at high school, who are thinking what option it is for you, and those of you who are still in catering and you're thinking, should I go to self-catering? There are some ups and downs towards it. You just have to make sure that you prune the downs of it. Like in terms of time, if you don't have time, why are you cooking? You don't want to be regretting your decision. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, that's just about it from me to you. Lots of love. Bye.